Good evening. What a privilege to be able to be together this evening for a wonderful opportunity. Gathered in the sanctuary, our congregation gathering online. We're grateful that together we can be enjoying a wonderful opportunity of sharing in music. Music rung to the glory of God. So the Colts Neck Reformed Church, I'm Scott Brown, one of the ministers here, along with the Reverend Gene Ryan. Grateful for the opportunity to share with such dynamic and dedicated volunteers and staff that do so very much in this wonderful, wonderful church. So just a note, exits certainly available. If restrooms are needed, you can get to them. Probably best to go outside and around, but the restroom's located back here. And if you would, turn off cell phones and noise-making pagers so that we can best enjoy the music. But with that, our first choir, our first number, we have our first Echo Ringers. Please enjoy. What a charming set of variations. Mozart, a classical composer, took a favorite melody and wrote a variety of variations for us, and that was arranged by Tamar Getke, who was also at the piano. Thank you. Thank you. And as our second echo ringers are coming forward, I'd like to introduce our ringer that you just heard, all beginning ringers. This is their first time ringing, and I'm so very proud of each one of you. Thank you so very much. You can hold applause, though, until we introduce everybody. Why don't we do that? But we have Ben Harlach, Brooklyn Santani, Travis, Gavin Famiano, Michael Giles, and Travis Malloy. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks also to Director Kelly Taima. Wonderful. Next, we have another piece from Mozart, our theme this evening, Mozart and the movies. And now we have Echo Ringers 2, led by Maggie Tripold. What wonderful, sensitive ringing. Thank you so very much. And as we have our first echo ringers coming back to join in a combined number, let me introduce you to the ringers you've just heard. And again, we're going to hold our applause until all have been introduced. But starting with our treble bells, we have Genevieve Caudle, we have Shay McMenemy, Olivia Horan, there you are, Olivia McQueen, Rory Savage, and Brandon Femiano. Yeah. Our two echo ringer groups rehearse on Monday afternoons. They are a dedicated group of elementary school kids, and they are able to share their talent in worship and also in wonderful ways out into the community, and certainly then with us here tonight. We're moving to the second part of our theme. We've heard two Mozart pieces, now to the movies. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. 60 years ago, Mary Poppins. Okay, a little trivia time. How many letters are in the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Quick, quick. Anybody? Ooh, 34. Now you'll know. Because they're going to be asking that all the time, right? How many syllables do you think? 14. There we go. You don't need to know that, though, to enjoy our Echo Ringers combined to share with this wonderful arrangement with Len Simicic on percussion. You'll be seeing our Echo Ringers again at the finale. All the choirs will join for the final musical number. But thank you so very much to our Echo Ringers. Just really so special to have a church that has so many young people to be able to share in the future of the church, to share in worship, to share in sharing joy. As they are being seated now, we are inviting forward our morning bells. And our morning bells are so named because they rehearse in the morning. Yeah. Monday morning is where you'll find our morning bells rehearsing, and we're going to get some bells arranged apparently before the morning bells come up. But I'll tell you a little bit about this morning bell choir. It is a group that is certainly obviously a musical group, but it's also a service group. They ring out into the community. They've been to Arbor Terrace. They have rung at Seabrook. This past week at Veterans Home in Menlo Park. So it's a service group. It's also a worship group. They do share in leading worship here at the Colts Neck Reformed Church. And it's also a fun group. This group loves to go out for breakfast and brunch after rehearsal, getting together for a lot of fun. And so we have a wonderful group of people. You'll be able to see another group. All the directors, all the ringers are volunteers, members of the congregational church family, except for me and Maggie. We get the privilege of working together and working on staff here, but what an amazing number of volunteers this congregation has. Just so very grateful. So let me tell you a little bit about the piece that the morning bells will be ringing. Alleluia, not originally written for bells, but it was written for voice, and it's been adapted then for bells and keyboard. But it was for a castrato back in the day, now most often sung by a soprano, sometimes a countertenor, written in 1773. Mozart was in Milan at this time, and he was influenced by going to the opera there in Milan, La Scala. And so hearing the opera, he would write melodies that would sometimes mimic an aria from an opera. And that is certainly true with this Alleluia, perfect for the Easter season. And so I think we may be close to being ready for our morning bells. Please enjoy. What a wonderful, wonderful arrangement and a wonderful opportunity to hear such a beautiful melody. And we're going to move again from Mozart to the movies as we have A Whole New World, A Whole New World, the signature song from Disney's Aladdin. It won the Academy Award for Best Original Song in a Movie in 1992. And here we have it arranged by Kevin McChesney. Kevin McChesney is one of the few people who makes his living exclusively with handbells. It's his career, and he has written a number of original songs, but also is prolific as an arranger. Over 450 compositions from Kevin McChesney. He lives in Colorado Springs with his wife, and he has 2 cats, and they are appropriately named Belle and Grace Note. So here we have, though, A Whole New World. I'd like to take time to introduce our morning bells to you. Certainly their director, Maggie Tripold, but we have got Kelly and Barbara and Brenda and Dottie and Alicia and Tony and Maggie and Janice and Ellen and Sandy and Len, and in our back bass row, we've got Greg and Joe. Yeah. Our next piece has percussion, piano, and bells. Oh, happy day. It's from Sister Act 2, subtitled Back in the Habit. So I'm sure you'll enjoy the music, but we also give thanks for the message. The lyrics, which we will not be hearing, are, oh, happy day, when Jesus washed away my sins. Oh, yes, oh, happy day. Uniting people through a musical art, ringing handbells is a way to bring happiness into our world, certainly grounded in faith, uniting with other people, remembering that we are never alone. We are able to share the joy that comes together, and we are so grateful for Oh Happy Day and our morning bells. With that, though, we also welcome our Teenage Bell Choir, our celebration ringers. Tomorrow, along with our Echo Ringers, we'll be going to Seabrook for a concert. These are very busy kids. They are involved in school activities, obviously, but also a lot of wonderful church opportunities, sports, mission work, family, jobs. And so when they rehearse on Wednesday as they gather, they also have time to have pizza first, because many of them are rushing in and out. And so it's a time to be recharged with a little pizza, but also a lot of fun. And so they have their social time, and then they have their rehearsal time. And their first piece we're going to enjoy today is with bells and percussion and chimes. It's very rhythmic. Perhaps you've noticed that there are the handbells that get used, but also a cousin of the handbell, a hand chime. Has just a little bit different tone, but they are keyed just like the bells, and they match tone by tone, note by note. And so there are chimes and there are bells. Their piece will utilize all 5 octaves of our handbell instrument. And so it goes from our low, what they call C3, which is bass bell below, a couple octaves below middle C, all the way up to C8, which is a couple of octaves above middle C. So a lot of bells. Our team here are going to be ringing the theme from Avengers. Avengers, part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Avengers first assembled in 2012. The original team, they memorably consisting of Captain America and Iron Man and Thor and Hulk, Black Widow, and Hawkeye. Here we have our very own superheroes, our celebration ringers. We're moving from movies back to Mozart for our next piece. It's a gentler theme. It was originally written for the piano. It's the theme from the first movement of Mozart's 11th Piano Sonata, Kochel 331. So it was written when Mozart was a relatively young person. I mean, he only died when he was 35, so he was a young person even when he died. But he wrote this piece when he was in his mid-20s. And so we're grateful for this arrangement and for our celebration ringers as they share with us Andante Grazioso. I'd like to introduce our celebration ringers to you, starting again with the treble. We're getting our percussion assembled as well, but here on the end we have Delaney Savage, and next to her Emma Purcell, Nev McMenemy, Leo Schmoker, and then next in line, Grace Savage. Grace, could you just give a little wave? Because Grace is our only senior in the group, and we are so grateful for you. Yeah. And as a senior, you know, you'll be moving on, not sure of plans for next year. I'm kind of hoping that it will keep you here in the area, because then you have an opportunity to continue to be part of our church family and worshiping regularly, but also involved in bells. In addition to the bell choirs that you've heard this evening, we also have an additional bell choir, our alumni choir, which is comprised of college age and post-college people in their 20s. They're ringing about 3 times a year. With college finals, it didn't work out for them to be here for us this time, but keep it in mind, anybody who wants to ring as an alumni of Celebration Ringers involved in that choir. But moving on past Grace, we have Olivia Schmoker, and then we have McKenna Savage, Caitlin Foley, Jackson Caudle, Thomas Shave, Jonathan Getke, and David Getke. Kathy Mokelbust has written a number of pieces using African rhythms and melodies, And this one certainly is no different. Jubilant beginning has a slow, smooth section using chimes in the middle, and then a wonderful ending section which brings us to a jubilant conclusion. Malleting is used extensively in this piece as well. And that is, instead of striking a bell, there's a clapper inside the bell that when you ring it, the clapper hits the bell, making it a percussion instrument and making the noise. You can also mallet. Could you just give us a mallet? So you hit the bell on the outside rather than the clapper on the inside, and it has another way to share the instrument. And so joining the percussion instruments, let us enjoy Amen Sida Kamis. Sida U Mis. The English is Amen, we praise your name. Wonderfully, wonderfully shared. Thank you so much for your time, for your dedication, for your faith, and for being with us this evening. And as our celebration ringers take their seat, our exaltation ringers are up next. But the first piece has a connection to the celebration ringers because the dedication line for Dauntless Celebration reads, "Commissioned in honor of Kay Brown for her 24 years of selfless dedication as director of the Celebration Ringers, Colts Neck Reformed Church, Colts Neck, New Jersey." And so how wonderful to have this piece that Kay, who had been able to direct that bell choir for 24 years, now in retirement, but still ringing with our exaltation ringers. And so the church commissioned a piece giving thanks for her good work. And so thank you, Kay. A little bit about the piece, though, because we asked Ron Mallory to compose it. He asked for input, and so we told him a little bit about Kay. He came up with that title, Dauntless Celebration. I think it fits. But it has embedded and hidden within it, in the opening and middle section, melodies based on the musical phrases, "When Morning Gilds the Skies" and "For All the Saints," which are a couple of Kay's favorite hymns. You'll also notice that Kay has typically always rung the notes C and D6. And that's kind of her spot and position, has been for a number of years. And yet Kay is always mentioned when they go out to play anywhere. Everybody is enthralled by the bass ringers. Ooh, look at those big bells. Ooh, look at all they handle. They have so many things. I have 2 bells. And so she's always a little concerned about that. So Ron wrote a piece that has a section which is kind of a rivalry between her part and the bass ringers. So you can look for that in here. Also, it starts with the time signature of 5/4, which is a little different. But Ron Mallory said that that comes from the 5 syllables of Colts Neck Reformed Church. So it was written specifically for us. And as Kay likes to ring loud and bold, that's what we're going to get. Enjoy. World premiere of Dauntless Celebration. And our exaltation ringers ring in worship ever and always to the glory of God. They also bring their talent and their praise to an annual concert at Monmouth University and at a handbell festival with other bell choirs in Toms River, New Jersey. Our next piece, though, that they'll share tonight is back to Mozart. Mozart's Eine kleine Nachtmusik. It was written in 1787 for a chamber music ensemble. Wasn't published, though, until after Mozart's death. And yet this little night music, or this light serenade, is an all-time favorite. Mozart wrote this at the same time he was working on the powerful opera Don Giovanni. And so with that intensity of the opera, perhaps Mozart needed a little bit of lighthearted joy, and so it is now shared with us. And with this, we also have mostly rung, but in the back you might see larger, bigger chimes. We've added on some of the lower notes. You get the bells too big, they're too heavy to ring, and so they've, instead of have big bells, they've added on low chimes. Jeff, could you just give us a malleted chime? You almost feel it more than you hear it even, but some of those lower notes aren't rung, but they are malleted. But here we have Eine kleine Nachtmusik. I'd like to introduce the Exultation Ringers to you, starting again at the treble. Jillian Sherman and Dottie Weidman, Lucy Lennox, Kay Brown, Kelly Tima, Tamar Getke, Jan Applegate, Joe Pisano, Ellen Carl, Elizabeth Applegate, Chrissy Applegate, and in our bass, Allison Brown, Jeff Brown, and David Sherman. Their director, Maggie Tripold. We've also had percussion from David Getke and from Len Simicic. Grateful for your sharing with us. It's been wonderful to have you lead us in worship and lead us tonight. And we're back to the movies for our final number from the Exultation Ringers. It's back to Sister Act, actually, but not the sequel. This is the original one, although the original and the sequel both had Whoopi Goldberg and Kathy Najimy, Dame Maggie Smith in both movies. But hold on to your wimple, because here comes Hail, Holy Queen, skillfully arranged by Kevin McChesney. You might even want to enjoy clapping along at some point. We'd invite all the ringers forward so we can have our finale together. What a wonderful thing to be able to have all our musicians sharing in one piece. It takes a lot of coordination and everybody making sure they have a bell, they have a chime, and get it all together. It is a wonderful, wonderful joy to see. And we're going to conclude with a song by ABBA, pop song. I'm thinking Mozart would have liked it, though. It's a wonderful, catchy melody, a rhythmic drive. And Mozart, though he was known for his technical craftsmanship and music that had such wonderful melodies, we find that music is something that transcends generations. And what a wonderful thing this is that we have in church and in our bell choirs the opportunities for many generations to join together in doing one thing, praising God, ringing bells. Here we have before us folks from, I think, 9 different generations. Let me count. We have people in their preteens, in that kind of, 7, 8, 9-year-olds. And then we have our teenagers. We have 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s upringing. Where else do you find 9 generations or 9 decades? Yeah. 9 decades, people doing one thing together, making music, sharing joy. And it is a privilege for the Colts Neck Reformed Church to share joy. If you are interested in more about your Christian faith, the journey that you're on, doesn't matter where you are on that journey, we'd be honored to talk to you more about how you can get to know Jesus even more and more and share your faith in dynamic ways. It's a wonderful congregation. We worship every Sunday at 9:30, also online. And we have a wonderful, as you can see, wonderful music program. We are just so grateful for Maggie and Dave Tripold. They lead us musically in such wonderful ways. Thank you so much. And it is out of the generosity of our congregation that we're able to offer concerts like this for free. We don't need to charge because we have a very supportive congregation. We just want to share the joy. If you wanted to do something, you could certainly make a donation to church. But even more than that, support the arts out into this world. Wherever you are, make a difference so that music can flourish and people can share the joy. As a token of our appreciation of your being here tonight, on your way out, get some popcorn. So, what better for, Mozart in the movies than a little popcorn treat for the ride home. So you can pick that up on the way out. But first, let's enjoy our finale together. Thank you very much, our bell choir. May God bless you each and all. And again, thank you. God bless you.
Get some popcorn.